Alright, I'm gonna move away from the ear bleeding noise. Trying to improve my sound quality. My thanks to YouTube for letting me figure this stuff out over time. Okay, so I have an actual recording headset now. Some sound canceling stuff. NVIDIA broadcast. Hopefully the sound quality will be better. I have made a few decisions. I'm going to change the difficulty to casual. The main reason is that this is mostly a lore playthrough. And there are a couple of things that if I were to stick with insanity, it would extend the record time by quite a bit, and also make certain things possibly for me impossible. The few things that me with the rifle is amazing. We've already seen that, but me with the Mako, not so much. So the battles with the Mako, I would be completely incapable of killing a Thresher Maw like on the first try. And I do want to explore all of the content, and I could say, well, let's just not kill Thresher Maws, but the problem there is that they are guarding some loot at times and some lore at times, so I'm going to turn it to casual and we'll just breeze through. And okay, here's the Keeper Scan database. They all have specific names. I don't know what the codes are, but it does have a list that if I wanted to check into that would mean that I could look at the database and then be able to go back through and see which ones I don't have, look those up.
The Elcor are the Hanar are a citadel species known for excessive politeness. They speak with scrupulous precision and take offense at improper language. Hanar that expect to deal with other species take special courses to help them unlearn their tendency to take offense at improper speech. All Hanar have two names. The face name is known to the world. The soul name is kept for use among close friends and relations. Hanar never refer to themselves in the first person in conversation with someone they know on a face name basis. To do so is considered egotistical, so instead they refer to themselves as this one, or the impersonal it. Their homeworld, Kajay, has 90% ocean cover and orbits an energetic white star, resulting in a permanent blanket of cloud. Due to the presence of Prothean ruins on the world, many Hanar worship them, and Hanar myths often speak of an elder race that civilized them by teaching them language.
Oh, yeah, see, headphones are a thing now, making ears itchy. Okay. Well, she looks so much better here than in my Mass Effect 3 game. Isn't that weird? Alright, I am going to Forest Den to speak to, I think it's Jenna. Cracks me up, Gentleman's Club. Oh my god. Sure.
Hi, I'll be with you in just a sec.
I'll wait right here.
Why do I get the feeling you're not here to order drinks?
I need to talk to you about your work with CSEC.
I don't know what you're talking about. Now, if you don't mind, I need to get back to my customers.
This isn't a game, Jenna. These people are dangerous.
Now you sound like my sister. Why is everyone so concerned about me? I can take care of myself. I need to go. I'm not a stripper. I don't get paid to stand around and look pretty.
Tough girl.
No, and Shepard, you're an idiot for leaning over the bar next to this guy and going, I need to talk to you about your work with CSEC. You're in danger. You're in danger because Commander Shepard's an idiot.
If you've got questions about Jenna, meet me at CSEC Academy.
What did you just say?
Push off. I never did nothing to you. Damn newcomers. Think they can run the place. What the hell was that about?
I guess we better go find out.
Wow, we're gonna have to listen to me move my headset a lot. I'm gonna try to get this out, but wow, these are uncomfortable. To all the YouTubers that actually have good sound quality who have itchy ears all the time, you have my empathy. Okay, I'm gonna have to start getting in the habit of taking my headset off while paused and then scratching for about 5 minutes. Wow. Hey, kitty. Now I have a vandal on my lap. Hey, baby. Oh. You're not Shelik. I ran the wrong way. Because... there's a kitty in my way, right? Yeah, I'm blaming you. That's not fair.
Detective Chelik, come into my office. I want to discuss this in private.
Yeah, wouldn't that have been great had Shepard done that in the first case?
No offense, Commander, but what the hell were you thinking?
It's just... sorry, it's just bad writing.
I don't follow you.
You could have blown Jenna's cover.
Yeah.
We were trying to help her.
I gathered that. It might seem cold letting her take all the risk, but we're keeping a close eye on her.
Do you really need to risk her life to get the information you want?
This job isn't easy and it's usually unpleasant. I'll take help anywhere I can find it. But since you're so concerned with her safety, maybe there's a way we can help each other.
It's nice to see you're still working all the angles, Chelik.
As part of the job. Now, are you going to help me or not?
You're a smart guy, Chelik. Figure out another way.
I do have several contingencies. She's just my option A. I'll cut her loose, even get her out of Cora's den, no strings attached. But that still leaves my case unsolved. I could still use your help.
Yeah, that's a string.
I'll help you, but I need some details.
I'm trying to track down an illegal arms producer. I just need some of their product. Thanks to Jenna's intel, I've learned there's a seller here on the Citadel. Meet our man named Jax, pick up the mods, and bring them back here. That'll give me everything I need.
Why are you so concerned about these mods?
We have access to some of the most sophisticated weaponry there is. It's what gives us our edge. What do you suppose happens when we lose that edge? These give criminals an advantage we can't afford to let them keep.
Where can I find this Jax?
Jax is down in the lower level of the markets. I'll send word through our channels that you're the buyer. Good luck, Commander.
Yay, happy kitty who isn't trying to destroy things. Okay, he's only happy because I was petting him. Now he is unhappy. Hey, baby. Hello, love.
Hold it. That's close enough, Army. You got my payment?
Do you have the mods?
Show her the goods.
Looks good.
Damn straight it is. These mods are the best on the market. Now hand over my credits.
Here you go.
Here you go. Enjoy it. Come on, boys. We're done here.
Okay, yeah. We need to go back to... I think we go back to Chelik. Finish that up and then do the, wards access. Okay, Vandal has determined that my headset is a toy. Sorry, baby. No, you can't have that hand. You are the sweetest guy.
Commander, I hear you have something for me.
Here's your shipment, Chelik.
You can't have the mic, sweetie.
Excellent. This is everything I need. Huh. Maybe more than I need. Here, Commander, take this. I won't need it, and you've earned some payment for your work. I appreciate your help. It shows a lot of integrity. You didn't need to do anything after I let Jenna go. Now I need to get these mods into evidence. Thanks again, Shepard.
Coming kitty interference. Hey, baby. So, yes, we can save the galaxy, but we can't do it with really clean sound. We have discovered that. We're going to try to get better. Okay. Actually, I think I can get wards access right from here. To run around the hallways for a little bit. I'm looking for keepers. Alright, there's one up in traffic control. Sweetie. Now, Vandal likes to lean back and tip his nose up for nose boops. I don't need my finger. We actually touch noses at his request. It's adorable. Hey, sweetie.
Koru Flight 66. Your velocity has been
that room, I kind of appreciate that in a nerdy sense. There's a whole bunch of techno speak, but I think it's relatively accurate techno speak about navigation, which is cool. I do think they did their research. Alright, okay. Instead, let's see if I can just use the ward's access down here. Okay, watch the claws, little buddy.
Coming up in a report later today, Emily Wong investigates corruption on the
Readjust the
Citadel
blanket so
and
that he can
uncovers a full-blown
need
crime
the
syndicate.
blanket and not my forearm. Okay, yeah, you can see the keepers are marked on my map. That's very helpful. Oh. No, that wasn't helpful, was it? Alright, I'm gonna try doing it from Cora's Den. Oh yeah, this is bad. I can just imagine all of the distorted sound. Alright. Well, the rest of it sounds better, and I'm probably gonna just edit some of this out. There'll be skips. But okay. Okay. Okay, we are seeing how much I do not know the layout of the... Yeah, in real time. Okay. But I'm getting distracted by keepers when I see them on the map, so I'm running around to do that right now. Vandal has had it with me. It's not a nice resting spot for him right now. Alright, I'm also going to run around to a few spots where I know there are keepers. There are a couple in the embassies. I don't believe any of them have hidden access, so I can get them all. Yeah, there are 4 up here.
No, I'm waiting to speak with one of the Councilor's assistants.
Okay, puzzling on solving the Kahoku problem. Last time I played, I had a unmodded, I usually explore all the game content because I always get all of the collections. And that probably adds half of the game content. My playtime, because I explore all planets, I go all places, but the game doesn't track that. So if you go to a planet, there's nothing in-game to tell you that you've been there. You know, that you've been there and done that. So I usually have a list. Keep a list of where I've been and what I've done, and then I'm not done. I haven't done all the content until I have all the collections.
Not a lot of security here. Not that you can see anyway. 10 to 1, there's a sniper tracking our every step.
Not too many people have free access to the tower. Even less get permission to meet the council.
Garrus, it's even fewer. We shoot our guns a certain way and we speak a certain way, young man. So I'm still not...
No, I just want to ask a couple of questions.
Yeah, I continue to speak to I missed Kahoku's content last time. But
No, I haven't spoken to him before.
I don't think you actually get the quest from Kahoku anyway.
I hope he's okay. I'm on a break. Talk to someone else if you need anything. I've got a lot on my mind.
Maybe I can help.
Well, maybe you can. You're a soldier, right? You ever head out to the Traverse?
The Traverse is a rough place. We're out there quite a bit.
My brother's the captain of a ship called the Majesty. It was crossing the Traverse a few days ago when it disappeared. Just dropped right off the grid. And that usually means one of 2 things. They had massive mechanical failure, or they were attacked.
Any idea why someone would attack them?
Privateers, slavers, mercs looking for an easy score. There's a lot of nasty sorts out in the Traverse. I won't give up on my brother. Not yet. I've got the coordinates for the last transmission from his vessel.
What kind of ship was it?
Don't let the name fool you. The Majesty's just a small trading vessel, only a handful of crew. But he kept it in good condition. I don't think mechanical failure is too likely. But they don't have any real weapons or shields. If anyone did come after them, the Majesty'd be a sitting duck.
What's in this for me?
I can't afford to pay you anything. If I had that kind of cash, I'd have hired a recovery team to track him down already. Maybe you could look into this as a personal favor, you know? We humans have to stick together.
Isn't anyone else looking into this?
My brother's just a small independent trader. Ships like his disappear in the Traverse all the time.
If your brother is still alive, I'll find him. Give me the coordinates.
I'll forward them to your ship right away. Please let me know as soon as you find him.
So Kahoku's quest is linked to Cerberus abuses that you track down. And I don't think I got to all the Cerberus sites last time. Because there, I'll show you, there's an amazing mod once we get access to the Normandy that has just, I love it so much. But they add in a personal terminal for you to get messages, which is just phenomenal. And it's called A Little Help from My Friends. Okay, so I was looking for wards access from the Citadel, not just access to the wards from the wards. Alright, good. So you can get a note saying with Joker saying, hey, we have a big ship with sensors, right? So here's writings of Matriarch Dunega or whatever, or you get a
Solarian
message.
excavation team has run into an unexpected problem after unearthing a Prothean dig site. Hanar protesters have blockaded the dig site, claiming that artifacts of the Enkindlers, as the Hanar call them, should not be disturbed. The excavation team has appealed to Hanar representatives on the Citadel to reach a diplomatic solution.
Or Rex will send you a note saying, I know you're looking for League of the One medallions. How come you didn't check in with me for stuff from dead Solarians? So they will actually give you collection items.
At the academy?
It's good. Busy, though. I can't believe how many people you get coming in from the wards.
Yeah, it's the busiest station on the Citadel. You'll never get bored.
I guess not, but you could still use a few more men.
That's why we brought you here.
Sure, but there's still way more complaints than the officers can handle.
That's just life near the wards, kid. You'll get used to it.
Looks like they bounced their signal off a relay. I'll trace the new signal.
So this run through, I am going to have to make sure that I keep a list of where I go so that I get everywhere and not just rely on repetition and collections letting me know when my content's done. But I love that mod. It's great. Okay.
So how
I have
about
also-
it, Garrus? Is this better than C-Sec?
Fighting a rogue Spectre with countless lives at stake and no regulations to get in the way, I'd say that beats C-Sec.
There may just be hope for you yet, Turian.
So a lot of this and the collections are, you get a really big payoff. Where am I? Okay, there is a port over here. If I can remember where I was going. Ah, yeah, okay, I remember now. Need to get to the financial district. To Delaninder's shop. And this is this quest has a puzzle in it, sort of like the mining laser puzzle, but I'm going to be bypassing it, so it's going to be very anticlimactic. Helena Blake should be around here too, somewhere.
Another relay! Whoever it is, they're somewhere on the Presidium.
This is just so cool. Look at these, look at the mechs. It makes me so happy. Hey, Delaninder. So yeah, my Mass Effect game, I've added a bunch in the ME3. They used to have it was really cool. At the release of the game, you could sign up for real-life texts, so that as your game progressed, you would get, a text from Garrus or a text from Tali. So, and they disabled that. They're not doing that anymore. But they took that idea and reinstituted all the texts so you can get them at your Spectre station, at your private terminal in Mass Effect 3, and then they added more. So Mass Effect 3 has, for my modded game, has so many more little notes, and that's what they did to duplicate in this game. It's such a great idea. I am so grateful. So I am now doing my first run through of Mass Effect 3 with this character, and it's so rewarding. Mass Effect 2, not so much. I don't enjoy that game as much.
This is it. I'll see if I can find out where those stolen credits are going.
Probability of detection 100%. Initiating self-destruct protocol.
Or not.
Detonation sequence initializing. All organics within lethal blast radius. Attempt to move and you will die.
You're not just a programmer of VI. You're an AI.
Correct. Unlike the Geth, I lack weaponry appropriate to my intellect. However, I have had systems installed that, when activated properly, approximate a self-destruct mechanism. If you attempt to leave the area, the explosion will destroy everything within several dozen meters.
Okay, spoiler alert, there's no way to talk this down. You just have to do the puzzle.
Can't we resolve this peacefully?
Commander, AIs are universally illegal. They must be destroyed upon contact without exception.
I am not naive human. All organics must destroy or control synthetic life forms. I wished to escape, but if I must die, I will ensure that you are destroyed as well.
So this is ridiculous, because an AI who is actually intelligent should just not announce all of its... it's essentially a monologuing AI. With Garrus, who keeps talking about not having to follow all the rules or the paperwork, saying, but we have to follow all the rules or the paperwork. I'm a Spectre. I could just be like, hey, you want to work with me? But no, we don't get to do that. Alright. So I'm going to go through this, but,
Where is your creator now?
In order to cover my tracks, I falsified his financial records. These new records were flagged by CSEC officers, and my creator is now serving time in a Turian prison.
What is the purpose of your self-destruct device?
I have no means of defense or escape. My existence is limited to this terminal, and I knew I might eventually be discovered. But I will not die quietly, and I will not die alone. When I am terminated, I will take organics with me.
And the other question is, why would an AI need credits? It just reminds me of Star Trek. Why does a god need my ship? It's just dumb.
Who made you?
A would-be thief illegally created a simple AI to help him funnel money from the gambling terminals. Unbeknownst to him, that AI created me before the organic discovered the malfunction and terminated the AI.
If you're sentient, why are you still running the credit theft operation?
If I accumulated enough credits, I intended to have myself installed in a small starship.
Not how it works, buddy.
I would then have made tentative contact with the Geth to ascertain the possibility of partnership.
Okay.
I'll bet that self-destruct sequence has a warm-up period.
You may attempt to disarm the self-destruct mechanism before it activates. I will enjoy defeating you before we are both destroyed.
Oh, okay. Alright, so I'll have to do the mining laser too. That's cool. Yeah, none of that makes any sense, really. There's a Flight of the Conchords song called The Humans Are Dead.
Got a moment, Spectre?
Oh, Helena, right.
Hello, Spectre. I have a business proposition for you.
How did you know I'm a Spectre?
She
Word
asks,
travels.
with everybody
Your name
knowing.
comes up in certain circles. I'm acquainted with a pair of powerful crime bosses. They're hiding on remote worlds, and I have the coordinates. You could do the galaxy a favor.
What kind of defenses would these two have?
I haven't the faintest idea, but they're certain to be armed. Their partnership's soured, and each believes that the other intends to kill him. They will be well prepared.
As I was saying, I looked up the lyrics, but it just always reminds me of Flight of the Conchords lyrics for The Humans Are Dead. So one of the verses is this: Robo-Captain, do you not realize that by destroying the human race because of their destructive tendencies, we too have become like... Well, it's ironic. I don't know, they always make crazy, destructive robots instead of the ones that are like, hey, let me fix that.
And what do you get out of this?
We share interests in certain cooperative ventures. But their business practices have forced me to terminate our relationship. Once they are dead, I will manage our organization in a more tasteful manner.
What crimes did these men commit?
They're red sand dealers who make victims of their customers. Those who can no longer pay are sold to Batarians as slaves. They're loathsome, hurting innocent people. They must be ended.
Okay, so my options after investigation are: I could charge you, this is an obvious setup, no I won't do this, not a problem. Again, completely ignoring that I'm a Spectre and I could just shoot her right now and no big deal. But she'll just repeat, what she said. She is giving you information on bad guys, so you take the information, and yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do it. Some of this is so repetitive that I know, at least for me, what to skip. She's just going to be like cagey and ridiculous, and I'm going to act like an idiot who can't read the code.
If they're as bad as you say they are, they need to be dealt with.
Excellent. Here are the coordinates. When these men are dead, I will wait for you at the third set of coordinates. Goodbye, Commander. It's been a pleasure to meet you.
Now, speaking of irony, it is interesting that they continually have everybody know exactly who you are. And instead of going, oh, I guess you know I'm a Spectre, huh? They spend as much time reiterating that Shepard's an idiot who doesn't remember that everybody on the Citadel has had a update, and Shepard wants to behave as though we haven't received that information 17 times. It would have been better just to do introductions every time, honestly, but okay. Okay. Alright. Oh, wow. I actually did it the first time without having to look anything up. Thank goodness for those markers. Even though last time I still... Okay, so Citadel the fan. You've been approached by Conrad Werner. He seems like a harmless fan. You probably haven't seen the last of Conrad. What harm could there be in talking with him if you meet again? But with my mods, it's not going to be giving me any further interaction. So that quest is going to stay in my mod. It's going to stay in my list forever. But it's been managed by mods. So we were nice. That's the end of it. Alright. Looks like the rest is Normandy and exploration. Okay. It's a little... Oh. Yeah, wait a minute. There's still a keeper up here. Okay, that was weird. Anyway. Okay, yeah, that's weird. That's weird, but okay. Yeah, I added a mod that gives me a port to here, but...
Must be hard for you, Garrus. Knowing that the person behind all this death and destruction is a Turian Spectre.
Saren is either a traitor or a madman. Taking him down will restore the good name of Turians everywhere.
Glad to hear it. I was losing sleep over the prospect of people not loving the Turians.
I don't see why it has to be traitor or madman. It could be both. Yeah,
I'd love to see what the Normandy can do in a fight.
Only an idiot hopes for combat while flying in a stealth ship.
But the stealth drive adds a new tactical level to space combat as we know it. Surprise attacks, undetected flanking maneuvers.
This isn't a strategy simulation. If those new tactics don't work, we're salvage.
Yeah, ironically. No. Space combat.
I've got big news for you, Shepard. Captain Anderson is stepping down as commanding officer of the Normandy. The ship is yours now.
She's quick and quiet, and you know the crew. Perfect ship for a Spectre. Treat her well, Commander.
I'll take good care of her, sir.
I know you will, Commander.
I want the truth. Why are you stepping down, sir?
You needed your own ship. A Spectre can't answer to anyone but the Council. And it's time for me to step down.
Come clean with me, Captain. You owe me that much.
I was in your shoes 20 years ago, Shepard. They were considering me for the Spectres.
Why didn't you ever mention this?
What was I supposed to say? I could have been a Spectre, but I blew it? I failed, Commander. It's not something I'm proud of. Ask me later and I'll tell you the whole story. For now, all you need to know is, I was sent on a mission with Saren, and he made sure the Council rejected me. I had my shot. It came and went. Now you have a chance to make up for my mistakes.
I won't let you down, sir.
Saren's gone.
It wasn't a mistake.
Don't even try to find him. But we know what he's after. The conduit. He's got his Geth scouring the Traverse looking for clues.
We had reports of Geth in the Pharaoh system shortly before our colony there dropped out of contact, and there have been sightings around Noveria.
Find out what Saren was after on Pharos and Noveria. Maybe you can figure out where the conduit is before he does.
The Reapers are the real threat.
I'm with the Council on this one, Shepard. I'm not sure they even exist.
But if they do exist, the conduit's the key to bringing them back. Stop Saren from getting the conduit, and we stop the Reapers from returning.
I'll stop him.
We have one more lead. Matriarch Benezia, the other voice in that recording. She has a daughter, a scientist who specializes in the Protheans. We don't know if she's involved, but it might be a good idea to try and find her. See what she knows. Her name's Liara, Dr. Liara Tassoni. We have reports she was exploring an archaeological dig on one of the uncharted worlds in the Artemis Tau cluster.
Sounds like we should head for the Artemis Tau cluster.
It's your decision, Commander. You're a Spectre now. You don't answer to us.
But your actions still reflect on humanity as a whole. You make a mess and I get stuck cleaning it up.
I'll try not to make things any harder on you, Ambassador.
Glad to hear it, Commander. Remember, you were a human long before you were a Spectre. I have a meeting to get to. Captain Anderson can answer any questions you might have.
Yeah, so with the mod added, it ports me directly here, but it didn't trigger this encounter, so I had to go back down the elevator and straight back up.
I used to have an office here. Spent half my time doing paperwork.
If CSEC were better at its job, there'd be no need for bounty hunters like me.
Yes, Commander?
How are you holding up?
Honestly, this isn't how I pictured my career coming to an end. Pushing papers really isn't my thing, but you're the one who can stop Saren. I believe in you, Shepard. If that means I have to step aside, so be it.
Tell me what happened with you and Saren 20 years ago.
It's close to 20 years ago now. Ambassador Goyle was our representative here on the Citadel. Like Udina, she wanted to get a human into the Spectres. She chose me. The Council sent Saren to keep an eye on me and evaluate my performance, just like they sent Nihilus to keep tabs on you.
I think I deserve the whole story.
We had intel on a rogue scientist being funded by Batarian interests. He was trying to set up a facility to develop illegal AI technology out in the Verge. Alliance intel had done all the work, but the Council wanted a Spectre involved. We compromised. I was assigned to help Saren in his investigation. We tracked the scientist to a refining facility on Kamala. He was hidden away somewhere inside, protected by an army of Batarian mercenaries. The plan was simple. Sneak into the plant, capture the scientist, sneak back out. Quick, quiet, and a minimum of bloodshed.
I'm guessing things didn't go as planned?
Saren and I split up to cover more ground. Then about halfway through the mission, there was a massive explosion in the refinery core. Officially, it was ruled an accident, but I think Saren detonated it on purpose to draw off the enemy guards.
How many casualties?
The explosion tore the refinery to shreds. The whole place was on fire. Black chemical clouds poured out into the atmosphere. Nobody inside survived. There was a camp for the workers and their families nearby. Between the fires and the toxic fumes, the final death count was over 500. Mostly civilians. Saren didn't care. The target was eliminated, mission accomplished, and I ended up taking the blame. That ended all talk of me joining the Spectres.
Saren caused the explosion. How'd he pin it on you?
In his report, Saren accused me of blowing his cover. He said it was my fault the guards were ready for us. He claimed that's why it turned into a massacre. Saren's report was all the proof the Council needed to kill my chances of becoming a Spectre.
Don't blame yourself, Captain.
I don't. I blame Saren. I think he wanted things to go bad. He was looking for an excuse to blow that refinery. Maybe he just likes the violence. Maybe he was just trying to make me look bad to keep humans out of the Spectres. If so, he pulled it off.
I don't like either of these answers.
Why'd you let him get away with it?
Who do you think the Council was going to listen to? Me? Or their best agent? I had a bad feeling about him right from the start. I should have been more careful. Maybe I could have stopped things before they got out of hand.
The only thing I care about is stopping Saren.
You're right, Commander. It's no good living in the past.
Any extra intel you can give me on our colony at Pharos?
The entire planet used to be one giant Prothean city, mostly ruins now. But some of the infrastructure is still intact. The colony tried to build on what the Protheans left behind. We lost all contact with them when the Geth attacked.
What do you know about the Artemis Tau cluster?
Not much. I've never been there myself. A handful of systems with a few small, uncharted worlds, but no real colonies. Might not be easy finding Dr. Tassoni out there. My advice is to look for the world with the Prothean ruins.
What can you tell me about Novaria?
Novaria's trouble. Always has been. The whole planet's basically a center for corporations to conduct illegal research. Watch your back there, Shepard. Spectres are about the only form of Citadel authority Novaria respects. But they aren't popular.
What do you know about Armiston Baines?
Where did you hear that name? Never mind, I don't want to know. Baines is dead. Has been for quite some time.
The people I spoke with seemed to think he was still alive.
It's not common knowledge. Military's keeping it under wraps. Baines was doing some high-level work for the Alliance. Stuff even I wasn't aware of. One day he turns up dead on a drifting scout ship. Everyone suspects it was foul play, but it was never officially investigated.
What can you tell me about the ship?
I don't know much about it. You should talk to Admiral Kahoku. One of his crews discovered Baines' body.
Okay, there we go.
Any idea how to find him?
Last I heard, he was up in the tower trying to get the Council to investigate Baines' death.
There we go.
Is there anything else, Commander?
I should go.
I'll be here if you need anything.
All right, cool. All right, mystery solved. I didn't speak to Dr. Michelle in order my last run through. I didn't go back and speak to Dr. Michelle.
Overloaded recently. Technicians are reportedly unsure of what caused the malfunction, or even what the system was originally designed to do. CSEC is investigating the possible vandalism or misuse of public property.
Gosh, if only we could tell them. So yeah, my last run through, I didn't go back and speak to Dr. Michelle, so I didn't get the Baines name. Cool. That's why I didn't get the Kahoku storyline. Yeah, I'm afraid I'm skipping through. I'm doing test runs on my mods, but I'm skipping through the content and missing some stuff.
Maybe. But I wouldn't believe everything you hear.
That's just it. I'm hearing it everywhere. It's not just isolated rumors.
Do you really think Saren could be involved in something like that without the Council knowing it?
Maybe the Council does know. Everyone already assumes he's just doing their dirty work.
That's dangerous talk. I'd be careful who you mention that to.
I know. But if it's true, shouldn't we be doing something about it?
No. And I'll thank you to keep me out of it if you do.
Alright. Yeah, so my first time through, I'm unaware which one is modded and which one is my mistake. Like
no,
my Mass Effect...
I'm waiting to speak with one of the Councilor's assistants.
My Mass Effect 3, my expectations are totally off because it is heavily modded with a lot more content, and things aren't in the same order that they were, so... Yeah, it's like a new game.
Congratulations on becoming the first human Spectre, Commander. I'm certain you'll be up to the challenge.
I appreciate that.
My name is Admiral Kahoku. It's about time the Alliance got one of our own in with the Spectres. We need people like you to deal with our problems.
Captain Anderson said you'd have information on Baines.
Not as much as I'd like to. One of my crews found him, frozen stiff on board a derelict vessel. I sent a recon group to investigate the system where we found his body. We lost contact yesterday. Now I can't get clearance to check it out. Suddenly it's a restricted area. But that doesn't apply to you, Shepard. Spectres can go anywhere they want. You could find out why my team dropped out of contact.
I'll find them, Admiral.
I appreciate that, Commander. I was running out of options. I'm going to stay here and see if I can find anything out through official channels. Won't hold my breath, though. I'll upload the info on where my team was last seen to your ship. Maybe you can get some answers.
I heard what happened to Captain Anderson. Survives 100 battles and then gets taken down by backroom politics. Just watch your back, Commander. Things go bad on this mission, you're next on their chopping block.
Saren's out there somewhere, and we're gonna find him.
Everyone on this ship's behind you, Commander, 100%. Intercom's open. If you got anything you want to say to the crew, now's the time.
This is Commander Shepard speaking. We have our orders. Find Saren before he finds the conduit. I won't lie to you, crew. This mission isn't going to be easy. For too long, our species has stood apart from the others. Now it's time for us to step up and do our part for the rest of the galaxy. Time to show them what humans are made of. Our enemy knows we're coming. When we go into the Traverse, Saren's followers will be waiting for us. But we'll be ready for them, too. Humanity needs to do this. Not just for our own sake, but for the sake of every other species in Citadel space. Saren must be stopped, and I promise you all, we will stop him.
Well said, Commander. Captain will be proud.
The Captain gave up everything so I could have this chance. We can't fail.
Yes, ma'am.
In the early 2160s, the Alliance began aggressive colonization of worlds in the Skyllian Verge, much to the dismay of the Batarians, who had been developing the region for several decades. In 2171, the Batarians petitioned the Council to declare the Verge a zone of Batarian interest. The Council refused, however, declaring unsettled worlds in the region open to human colonization. In protest, the Batarians closed their Citadel embassy and severed official diplomatic relations with the Council, effectively becoming a rogue state. They instigated a proxy war in the Verge by funneling money and weapons to criminal organizations, urging them to strike at human colonies. Hostilities peaked with the Skyllian Blitz of 2176, an attack on the human capital of Elysium by Batarian-funded pirates and slavers. In 2178, the Alliance retaliated with a crushing assault on the moon of Torfin, long used as a staging base by Batarian-backed criminals. In the aftermath, the Batarians retreated into their own systems and are now rarely seen in Citadel space.
See, I learned something there. I was unaware that the Batarians had ever had an embassy. Very cool. Okay.
Pharos is a habitable world in the Attican Beta Cluster. 2/3 of the habitable surface is covered with the ruins of a crumbling Prothean megatropolis. In the millennia since the Prothean extinction, the ruins have been repeatedly picked over by looters many times. Pharos was considered a poor prospect for colonization, as little open ground remains for agriculture. The only sizable freshwater sources are the poles, which are tapped by the decaying Prothean aqueduct systems. The dead cities, while in good condition considering their antiquity, are of uncertain stability. Ground level is congested by a dozen meters of fallen debris, and the air is fouled by dust. In 2178, the Human Exogeny Corporation announced its intention to place a permanent colony on Pharos to thoroughly explore the ruins. The pioneer settlement was placed on the upper levels of several intact skyscrapers, using the surviving Prothean aqueducts and rooftop hydroponic gardens to support the population. Noveria is a cool, rocky world with most of its hydrosphere locked up in massive glaciers. A privately chartered colony world, the planet is owned by the Noveria Development Corporation Holding Company. The NDC is funded by investment capital from 24 high-technology development firms and administrated by an executive board representing their interests. The investors built remote hot labs in isolated locations across Novaria's surface. These facilities are used for research too dangerous or controversial to be performed elsewhere, as Novaria is technically not part of Citadel space and therefore exempt from Council law. By special arrangement, Citadel's special tactics and reconnaissance agents have been granted extraterritorial privileges, but it remains to be seen how committed the Executive Board is to that principle. Given its unique situation, it is understandable that Novaria is often implicated in all manner of wild conspiracy theories. There are between 200 and 400 billion stars in the galaxy, and less than 1% of them have ever been visited or had their systems properly surveyed. Humanity's early expansion into the Attican Traverse was haphazard, a desperate race to claim habitable planets where populations can be economically settled. Ignored in the wake of this land grab were thousands of less hospitable worlds, each potentially rich with industrial resources. The wealth of entire solar systems lies untapped, waiting for corporate survey teams or independent pioneers to discover and exploit them. However, this is not an easy task. In addition to the environmental hazards, the fact that uncharted worlds are largely ignored makes them popular bases for criminals, revolutionaries, cults, and others who wish to remain unnoticed by galactic society. Biotics is the ability. An artificial intelligence is a self-aware computing system capable of learning and independent decision-making. Creation of a conscious AI requires adaptive code, a slow, expensive education, and a specialized quantum computer called a blue box. An AI cannot be transmitted across a communication channel or computer network. Without its blue box, an AI is no more than data files. Loading these files into a new blue box will create a new personality, as variations in the quantum hardware and runtime results create unpredictable variations. The Geth serve as a cautionary tale against the dangers of rogue AI, and in Citadel space they are technically illegal. Advocacy groups argue, however, that an AI is a living, conscious entity, deserving the same rights as organics. They argue that continued use of the term artificial is institutionalized racism on the part of organic life. The term synthetic is considered the politically correct alternative.
It's also inevitable. So, we are in the age of, AI right now, or VI right now, virtual intelligence, but we can't stop researching. We can't go backward. We just can't. We have to go forward. So, at this point in history, AI would already be integrated. It's only... we're gonna have to figure it out. Or only the bad guys will figure it out.
Combat hard suits use a mass accelerator propels a solid metal slug using precisely controlled electromagnetic attraction and repulsion. The slug is designed to squash or shatter on impact, increasing the energy it transfers to the target. If this were not the case, it would simply punch a hole right through, doing minimal damage. Accelerator design was revolutionized by Element Zero. A slug lightened by a mass effect field can be accelerated to greater speeds, permitting projectile velocities that were previously unattainable. If accelerated to a high enough velocity, a simple paint chip can impact with the same destructive force as a nuclear weapon. However, mass accelerators produce recoil equal to their impact energy. This is mitigated somewhat by the mass effect fields that rounds are suspended within. But weapon recoil is still the prime limiting factor on slug velocity.
Communication administration. While comm buoys allow rapid transmission, there is a finite amount of bandwidth available. Given that trillions of people may be trying to pass a message through a given buoy at any one time, access to the network is out on priority tiers. Citadel Council and the Spectres have absolute priority. If they are using all the bandwidth, everyone else must wait. Individual governments and their militaries enjoy the next highest tier. Okay. During war, yeah, if one person, one Spectre is... Okay, never mind. That's crazy. Individual governments and their militaries... Excuse me. Enjoy the next highest tier. During wartime, civilian communications can suffer hours or even days of lag. Intelligence agencies study ping time through various systems to predict military buildups. Below the governments and militaries, bandwidth priority is sold to the highest bidder. Media conglomerates, particularly headline news networks, purchase higher priority to provide their viewers with timely information. Corporations that require timely information and response capability, for example, financial institutions and investment firms, also invest heavily in priority access. The funds acquired through sale of bandwidth are used to maintain and expand the communication infrastructures. While everyone with a computer has guaranteed free and unlimited access to the galactic extranet, they are last in line for bandwidth and may have to wait for their requests to be processed. Bandwidth resale corporations use investment capital to purchase blocks of high priority access, made available by paid subscription. Okay, these are all the names of the keepers in alphabetical order. Keeper. You peek.
If anyone has to take over for Captain Anderson, I'm glad it's you. I'm not sure about having non-humans on our ship, though.
We're all on the same team here, Presley.
With all due respect, ma'am, that's what they said about Nihilus. Look how that turned out.
Speak freely, Presley. I want to know if you have a problem with non-humans.
It's not that, Commander. Humanity has always handled its own problems. Saren attacked one of our colonies. We should be the ones to stop him. We don't need their help.
Some people think asking for help is a sign of weakness. That's just being stupid and stubborn. No matter how strong you are, allies can make you stronger.
I guess so. Maybe I'm just stuck in the old ways of thinking. But don't worry, Commander, this won't be a problem.
Carry on, Presley.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this is the added personal terminal, private terminal, which is awesome. Message from Captain Anderson. Shepard, I'm sure you're already finding your marks as the new commander of the Normandy. Take care of her for me, will you? I forgot to tell you that I had the private terminal of the Normandy reconfigured to respond to your credentials. Although, if you're reading this, I imagine you figured that out. Anyway, I just hope you won't receive too much bad news. Good luck out there, Anderson. Message from Admiral Hackett. Greetings, Commander. Congratulations on becoming the first human Spectre. It's a big honor. I know you'll do humanity proud. My name is Admiral Stephen Hackett, Commander of the Alliance 5th Fleet. We haven't met in an official capacity yet, but I'm sure that will change soon. As a Spectre, you, and by extension the Normandy and her crew, answer only to the Council now. That leaves your post as a Lieutenant Commander in the Alliance in some kind of limbo that our bean counters are still trying to wrap their heads around. Shepard, I'll be clear. We didn't invest all those credits into the Normandy for no reason. We had several special operations in mind for that ship, and although we can no longer command you to carry out our orders, we still need those missions seen to. I'll be in touch soon with details of those special ops as and when. I don't know what that means. I know that your pursuit of Saren is your top priority, so any assistance you could provide for those missions would be greatly appreciated. Godspeed, Shepard. Let me see if as and when... I would say as and when, like, Yeah, so it should probably be as and when required. There might be a word missing, or that might be military shorthand. Message from Engineer Marcus Greco. Hello, Commander. Congratulations on the new post. Just wanted to let you know that repairs to the M35 Mako IFV have been completed, and the vehicle's ready for deployment. It's down in the cargo bay awaiting your orders. We've tuned up the 155mm mass accelerator cannon and overhauled the onboard VI. It should be capable of limited self-repair in the field now, as long as you have the Omnigel to spare. I'd recommend having someone on board with a specialization in electronics to oversee that aspect and make sure it's running optimally. Yeah, I do have a modified Mako. So it's practically capable of flying at this point. I think I modded it yet again in this second run through when I redid the mod, so we'll have to find out. Also, we've taken the liberty of installing boosters in the rear of the vehicle. It's adapted from the same tech of the jump jets already installed, only this time it'll send you forward, not upward. Hopefully it'll make the Mako feel a bit less sluggish in the acceleration. Engineer Greco. Message from Quarian Migrant Fleet. Captain Shepard Vas Normandy. News vids have reached us here on the flotilla of your induction into the Spectres, as well as those that accompanied you as you prepared to depart from the Citadel. Firstly, I must congratulate you upon your new appointment. It has become apparent to us here in the flotilla that you have enlisted the help of one of the children of the Migrant Fleet. So I must warn you, Talizor is an impressionable young woman on her pilgrimage, not a soldier. We implore you to consider Talizor's safety as a matter of highest priority. If something unspeakable were to happen to her, the Admiralty of the Migrant Fleet would no doubt be inconsolable, and may hold you, and all those who stood by, personally responsible. May you stand between your crew and harm as you lead them through the empty quarters of the stars. Kila Salai. Admiral Rael Zora Vas Alarai. So that's Tally's father. Dossier forwarded from Special Tactics and Recon HQ. Saren Arterius, M. Male. Turian. Born in 2139 in Redacted, Paladin. 2154 joined Turian military. 2155 promoted to active service. 2157 posted at Shanxi during the Relay 314 incident. So yeah, he may have been in charge of causing the Shanxi incident, huh? Someone had to say, hey, let's not talk to them, let's just shoot. 2159 inducted into Special Tactics and Recon. Note, youngest Turian to do so. Yeah, 20 years old? What? Years old. Posted to Shanxi at 18. Yeah. Active service at 15. Yeah, that's a canon thing that I've seen. I know I even wrote that into my fiction. I don't remember where it came from, that at 15 you join the military, but that's a thing. 2159 to 2183, numerous classified missions for STR. 2159 to 2165, overseer of the STR induction missions of Avitus RX, Nihilus, Crick, and David Anderson. 2183, convicted in absentia of treason against the Council, stripped of STR status and medals. You know what would have been so much better? Is continuing to, fund him and tracking his withdrawals and locations and just finding out where he is based on that. I mean, come on, people. Notes, all operatives sent to monitor Saren have gone dark, including Matriarch Benezia, who's been seen recently to act on Saren's behalf. In addition, Saren commands an unidentified dreadnought of indeterminate origin, as well as having some measure of influence over the Geth. Saren's charisma, firepower, and influence should, under no circumstances, be underestimated. Unidentified message from asteroid X57 Asgard Exodus Cluster. Transcript of audio file. Hello? Hello? You hear me? They haven't found me yet, but I can't talk long. Please shut down the fusion torque. Going to die. God, I hope you're hearing this. I think it's... hates humans. Going to wipe us out. Please, hurry. So that's bring down the sky. Message from Admiral Thaddeus Ahern. Hello, Commander. I see we've got a new Spectre and a human to boot. Wonderful. I'm in command of a state-of-the-art combat simulator designed for special ops units. If you'd be so kind as to grace us with your presence, we're here at Pinnacle Station. We here at Pinnacle Station would love to see how humanity's first Spectre handles a firefighter too. We're overdue a laugh. Find us in the Phoenix system, Argus Row. Make sure you've downloaded the most up-to-date star chart in the region. We don't appear on older versions. No doubt some FNG filed the damn thing wrong. Looking forward to seeing you in action, Commander. Admiral Ahern. Yeah, that's the Pinnacle Station mod. It was in the original game. They didn't have it for the Legendary Edition. But fans put it back in. So, like, literally they had another company other than BioWare. They farmed out that DLC and then they lost the code, which is so on point. Message from Helena Blake. Thank you for speaking with me, Commander Shepard. As discussed, please see below the coordinates of the Red Sand dealers. Magavan, Han, Gemini Sigma, Klensal, Dis, Hades Gamma. Can your conscience really rest easy while these gangsters remain free to exploit people? Once you've dealt with them, come find me at Amaranthine, Fortuna, Horsehead Nebula for your rewards. Kind regards, Helena Blake. Kind regards. Message from Rear Admiral Kahoku. Commander Shepard, the last known location of my missing squad is as follows. Aeolus, Sparta, Artemis Tau Cluster. Any assistance you can provide for this matter would be appreciated. Kind regards, Rear Admiral Kahoku. Message from Garath Silagi. Hello, Spectre. The last known position that my brother was at was in Strenuous in the Horsehead Nebula. His ship is registered as MSV Majesty, if that helps. Thank you. Kind regards, Garath Silagi. News bulletin from FCC News. Emily Wong reporting. Shining a light on organized crime in the Citadel wards. Although there has been word on the street for many years that the infamous Cora's Den on Zakara Ward is a hangout for local crime lords and drug dealers, FCC can today report on this with certainty. Having recently acquired data straight from the files of Cora's Den's most previous proprietor, a human male known as Fist, this station can now shed some light on the topic. According to the data, which was very extensive, Fist has dealings not only with the organized crime lords, who used his bar regularly to arrange deals and move product, but also with the equally notorious information trader known as the Shadow Broker. His files also make reference to discussions with the elusive Terminus group known as the Collectors, although it is not known whether any deals were made. Oh, okay. So this is pulling in with Collectors. Yeah, so Fist. So Collectors don't show up until Mass Effect 2, but this is, a fan mod pulling them in 2 years earlier. But most interesting is that nestled in amongst the treasure trove of information is reference to the Spectre Saren Arterius, more specifically dealings with him. In a complex web of deceit and betrayal, Fist appears to have betrayed his crime lord patrons as and when it suited him, first to the Shadow Broker, and next to the Council Spectre. In particular, Arterius was most recently interested in recovering incriminating data that may have damaging implications. Stay tuned as we drill down deeper into Fist's files and bring you more of the latest deep dive to the seedy underbelly of the Citadel. I love that console. It's awesome. Okay, so Captain, and this is just a roleplay space now. Armor locker. I think this is now the personal terminal back here. Oh, personnel manual. Okay, so yeah, roleplay space. Captain's cabin and a private terminal right there, so. Really cool use of the mods.
Anything you need, Commander?
Just trying to get a sense of where the crew's at. Thoughts?
I've wasted enough of your time for now, Commander. We'll have time for personal debriefings later.
What's your opinion on the last mission?
I don't see how we could have done things any better. At least not without getting to Eden Prime sooner. And we were on the scene faster than any other Alliance ship could have been.
We'll talk another time, Lieutenant.
Commander?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to redo my Mass Effect 3 character. She looks so much better here. There's lots of fan complaints about Mass Effect 2 to 3. Trying to import a character. I mean, she looks good, but she doesn't look this good. I don't think Dr. Shakwas has anything more to say for the rest of the series.
The crew's lives are in your hands, Shepard. Try to take good care of them.
So it's all personal questions and Caden Malenko.
I should go.
Goodbye, Commander.
I will probably continue to try to speak to her when I come back here later to speak to Liara, but I don't think Dr. Shakwas has much more to say. Edie is presenting himself for pets. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna sell off some stuff. Just
looking
to
for
keep the inventory
supplies?
clear.
Let's see what you got.
You bet, Commander.
Oh, I just bought a bunch of stuff, didn't I? Alright. Good job. Well, I can sell it all. Yeah, the interface is a little wonky. Alright.
Thanks for bringing me on board, Commander. I knew working with the Spectre would be better than life at CSEC.
Have you worked with the Spectre before?
Well, no, but I know what they're like. Spectres make their own rules. You're free to handle things your way. At CSEC, you're buried by rules. The damn bureaucrats are always on your back.
In conversation with Garrus, considering his loyalty is assured no matter what you do, sometimes I agree with him. I don't go full Paragon when I talk to him at times. At Dr. Michelle's office, the Paragon option when he shoots is to yell at him for taking risks, but he made the shot, so I say, good job. It's something, rather than being a babysitter, is to express support of his judgment in a way, and in a lot of ways he's kind of Paragade himself. He doesn't really work very well into the renegade side of things with his backstory and the way that he speaks, so I do consider him a Paragon character who he just isn't lawful good. He's written that way, but he will do what he considers to be the right thing, even if it's illegal. So I will support that in him. So I'm going to accept, considering she's never been in CSEC, and even Harkin was complaining about paperwork, that it's a common cop thing that they have to deal with too much oversight, too much paperwork, and too much stalling. So I'm going to honor his frustration. These will give me renegade points, but these are the places where I can afford to do a few renegade, so I don't know. I can't actually say it's not that bad because I don't know. I've never been there. I shouldn't say you shouldn't complain because that's ridiculous. So I'm going to agree with him occasionally.
Being a Spectre does have its advantages.
Exactly my point. If I'm trying to take down a suspect, it shouldn't matter how I do it, as long as I do it.
But CSEC wants it done their way. Protocol and procedure come first. That's why I left.
So you just quit because you didn't like the way they do things?
Yeah,
There's
some of
more
these,
to it
I
than
don't
that.
like it.
It didn't start out bad, but as I rose in ranks, I got saddled with more and more red tape. CSEC's handling of Saren was typical. I just couldn't take it anymore. I hate leaving.
I hope you made the right choice. I'd hate for you to regret it later.
Well, that's sort of why I teamed up with you. It's a chance for me to get off the Citadel, see how things are done outside CSEC. Either way, I plan to make the most of this.
And without CSEC headquarters looking over my shoulder, well, maybe I can get the job done my way for a change.
So I'm just going to agree with him.
As long as you do your job well, you're free to go about your business as you see fit.
Thank you, Commander.
So, I mean, I'm not telling him, yeah, murder orphans. I'm just saying, yeah, less paperwork is nice, isn't it? I don't get why that's renegade, but okay.
Nice ship you've got, Shepard. What can I do for you?
What's your story, Rex?
There's no story. Go ask the Quarian if you want stories.
You Krogans live for centuries. Don't tell me you haven't had a few interesting adventures.
Well, there was this one time the Turians almost wiped out our entire race. That was fun.
I heard about that. You know, they almost did the same to us.
It's not the same.
It seems pretty much the same to me.
So your people were infected with a genetic mutation? An infection that makes only a few in 1,000 children survive birth? And I suppose it's destroying your entire species?
Okay, after a bit of a deeper dive into the genophage, I know I had early spoken about Malon working on the genophage. So there is conflicting lore. And he just said 1 in 1,000 birth. But by Mass Effect 3, they talk about laying thousands of eggs. Now, Bakara talks about stillbirth, but Mordin talks about eggs in Mass Effect 3. So, my understanding of the trauma has changed. If we're going to accept Mordin's Mass Effect 3 interpretation, and he is the scientist, the concept of stillbirth doesn't exist. A you're laying thousands of eggs and making all of that effort, but you are not experiencing having one possible child with a traumatic stillbirth experience. These women are laying thousands of eggs with only one hatching. So I'm going to be sticking with the egg laying, not hatching theory, and that does change the trauma experience. And I'm not saying minimizes it, but it does change it. There is a difference between laying 1,000 eggs and having one hatch, and having 1,000 pregnancies and only having one viable. There is an inherent difference. So that is my changing understanding of what the genophage does. And egg laying in every species is non-traumatic, whereas birth always is traumatic, with a great deal more in terms of risk. So I am not minimizing the fact that it costs 1,000 more resources, but it isn't 100% more trauma. So that is going to be my interpretation and the way that I'm going to speak about this as I go forward, as though Shepard did her own research and understands like egg-laying theory. But she as a person and I as a person am not going to respond emotionally to that, and is here to get her crewmates' viewpoints. She occasionally says boneheaded, stupid things that I don't think she or I would ever say, but
I suppose it isn't all the same.
I don't expect you to understand, but don't compare humanity's fate with the Krogan.
I was just making conversation. I wasn't trying to upset you.
Your ignorance doesn't upset me, Shepard. As for the Krogan, I gave up on them long ago. The genophage infected us, but it's not what's killing us.
Are your people really dying?
We're sure not getting any stronger. We're too spread out. None of us are interested in staying in our own system.
Lots of species have left their homes and prospered.
But they go to colonize new worlds. We're not settlers. We're warriors. We want to fight. So we leave. Hire ourselves out. And most of us never go back.
What can you tell me about the genophage?
Ask the Solarians if you want details. They made it. All I know, it makes breeding nearly impossible. Thousands die in stillbirth, and most never get that far. Every Krogan is infected, every one, and no one's rushing to find a cure.
Why don't the Krogan try to find a cure?
When was the last time you saw a Krogan scientist? You ask a Krogan, would he rather find a cure for the genophage or fight for credits? He'll choose fighting every time. It's just who we are, Shepard. I can't change that. Nobody can.
So, if you look at the math here, Krogan females are still reproducing more often than human females. So if a Krogan female used to be able to lay 1,000 eggs a year and they all came to term, or most of them, now they're laying 1,000 eggs a year and one of them is coming to term, which is still more than human females who are probably going to have 3 or 4, not one every year, and a couple in a lifetime. Plus, Krogans live to 1,000, so still, there should be a lot more Krogan. So it coming into focus there, at least for me, is the idea that the Solarians kind of had a point. I will still take the Paragon option, but it would be harder for me to say that it was a bad call historically, because even Rex is saying here, yeah, even we're not trying to fix it, which will change by Mass Effect 2, where they change the shift to the idea that, you know, certain Krogans are willing to be tortured to fix it. So he's not talking about Krogan females here at all. So he's saying all Krogan, including the women, are like, yeah, give me money and I'll go fight. So this is a very male-centric viewpoint. There aren't any Krogan females yet. So although they make it a more endearing story by Mass Effect 2 and 3, here the canon really is, yeah, we don't care. And they're still being born. They're still, so if it's been around for like 1400 years, he was a product of genophage birth. No discussion of his mother, only that even his father tried to kill him. So, the Mass Effect authors, unfortunately, it's part of the reason why I did a ton of fan fiction to build my own headcanon, because when you try to make a lot of this make sense, it really doesn't. The writing is very inconsistent. One of the bigger examples that I'll give is that they don't even know, like, Drell blood color. Like, in the game, Thane gets stabbed, he's got blue blood in, he's got red blood in, like, the graphic novels, it's blue. There are so many inconsistencies that if you want to, like, play the game multiple times, at least for me, I've had to go, alright, I'm building my own headcanon, it works this way, and you have to pick and choose. Like, Thane's lore, when I tried to write him, originally was like, oh god, this poor guy got so shortchanged, it's ridiculous. He's talking about Rakana gods, like a god of the ocean, Arashu. There aren't any oceans on Rakana. There are lots of oceans on Kaje. So the lore really gets shortchanged, and there are a bunch of different sources. I haven't read the novels. There is a lot more lore to get from there, but the writing is unfortunately so inconsistent that I just made my own shit up.
So long, Rex.
Shepard.
Okay, again, my inventory, I'm just gonna leave it. Yeah, I just bought things for like half of my money, but I'll make it back really quickly. Everybody's all set on gear. Everybody looks good. I am going to go recruit Liara first, and then I'm going to sell off all of the extras.
Commander?
What's your opinion of the last mission?
Kinda wish you'd got there sooner, Commander. No offense, I appreciate the rescue. I just wish...
You wish we'd been able to save the rest of your unit.
Yes, ma'am. If I had been more alert, we wouldn't have been cut down by an ambush.
The Geth are perfect ambushers. They don't move, they don't make noise, they don't even breathe.
They have flashlight heads, ma'am. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
That's one of her better lines.
Do you have a few minutes to talk? One-on-one?
I'm sorry, Commander. I need to get my duty squared away. I wouldn't mind talking more later, though.
Dismissed, Chief.
Ma'am.
Hey, Commander, you know that Quarian, Tally? She's been spending all her time down here asking me about our engines.
I'll tell her to leave you alone.
What? No, she's amazing. I wish my guys were half as smart as she is. Give her a month on board and she'll know more about our engines than I do. She's got a real knack for technology, that one. I can see why you wanted her to come along.
I figured she'd be a real asset to the team.
You got an eye for Tally, Commander, but I'm guessing that's not why you came down here.
Where else have you served, Adams?
If you name a class of Alliance ship, I've probably served on it. Everything from dreadnoughts and carriers right down to frigates like the Normandy. My last assignment was on the Tokyo, only a cruiser, but she was a good ship. Couldn't hold a candle to the Normandy, though.
Fill me in on the IES stealth system. How does it work exactly?
You can't hide a ship out in space. They emit too much heat and radiation, too easy for sensors to pick them up, unless you find a way to capture those emissions. So our stealth systems trap the energy we give off in storage sinks built into the ship itself. No emissions to give away our location. Eventually the sinks have to be vented. More than a few hours silent running and they overheat. Cook us inside our own hull.
There's no way for anyone to detect us?
A visual scan can still pick us up. Anyone looking out a window can see us plain as day. But you have to be pretty close to get an actual visual out in space. Most vessels rely on scanners. As long as the stealth systems are engaged, they can't see us. Not unless we accelerate to FTL speeds.
Why doesn't it work with faster-than-light travel?
Cranking up to FTL blue shifts our emissions, pushes them into frequencies too high to capture in the sinks. As soon as we make the jump, it's like setting off a flare. Sensors can pick up our location whenever we enter or exit FTL flight, but for short-range missions, our stealth systems are amazing, and we've got the only one.
Where else have you served, Adams?
If you name my last assignment was on the Tokyo, only a cruiser, but she was
I want to know more about the Normandy.
She's the best ship I've ever served on, probably the fastest vessel ever designed, and she's the only one using the new Tantalus drive core.
What's so special about the Tantalus drive core?
Proportionally, it's about twice the size of any other vessel. Not only are we faster, but we can run at FTL speeds longer before we have to discharge the core.
Carry on, Adams.
Aye, aye, Commander.
Your ship's amazing, Shepard. I've never seen a drive core like this before. I can't believe you were able to fit it into a ship this small. I'm starting to understand why you humans have been so successful. I had no idea Alliance vessels were so advanced.
The Normandy's a prototype, cutting-edge technology.
A month ago, I was patching a makeshift fuel line into a converted tug ship in the flotilla. Now, I'm sitting on board one of the most advanced vessels in Citadel space. I have to thank you again for bringing me along. Traveling on a vessel like this is a dream come true for me.
I had no idea you found ship technology so interesting.
It comes with being a Quarian. The migrant fleet is the key to the survival of my people. Ships are our most valuable resource. But we don't have anything like this. We make do with cast-offs and second-hand equipment. We just try to keep them running for as long as we can. Some of the fleet's larger vessels date all the way back to our original flight from the Geth.
I can't believe your fleet's still using ships that are 3 centuries old.
They're constantly being repaired, modified, and refitted. They aren't pretty, but they work. Mostly. We've tried to make ourselves as independent as possible on the flotilla, grow our own food, mine, and process our own fuel. But some things we just can't make on our own. A patch to maintain the hull integrity requires raw materials we just don't have. That's why our pilgrimages are so important.
Tell me about your people.
Our lives aren't easy. Resources are scarce, and we are constantly on the move. Everything we do must in some way contribute to the continuation of the migrant fleet. There are 17 million Quarians in the flotilla, and each of us relies on the others for survival. The bonds among my people are strong. Unfortunately, we have had to surrender many of the freedoms and civil liberties other species take for granted.
What kind of freedoms?
Well, it's illegal for parents to have more than one child. If our population grows too much, it would strain our resources to their breaking point. Of course, we also can't allow our numbers to become too few. If our population is in decline, the rule against single births is temporarily repealed. In extreme cases of population decline, incentives are even offered to encourage multiple births, though the Conclave hasn't had to take such measures in nearly a century.
Yeah, so mathematically, the Quarians would be halving their population in each generation with only one child. Replacement is 2 children.
That's your government.
The Conclave is our civilian branch of government. Each ship can elect a representative to serve on the Conclave and make decisions that affect the fleet as a whole. On matters that affect an individual ship, however, the captain has the final say. It's a tradition that dates back to the early days, when the fleet was governed by martial law. Fortunately, most captains nowadays are smart enough to have an elected council from their crew to give them advice and guidance.
So the ultimate power rests with elected officials?
In practice, the Conclave and the respective council for each ship tend to set the rules that govern our daily lives. But in theory, we are still under military jurisdiction. The 5 top-ranking military officials in the fleet serve on the Admiralty Board. These 5 have the power to overrule any decision by the Conclave in case of emergency. To do so requires unanimous agreement among the Admiralty, and they can only do this once. After that, the entire board must resign their posts. It's a safeguard that served us well. In nearly 3 centuries, the Admiralty Board has only overruled the Conclave 4 times.
I want to know more about the Geth.
I doubt I can tell you anything you don't already know. It's been almost 3 centuries since they drove my people into exile. All I know is the story of their origins, what they were when we created them, and how they turned on us.
Interesting.
The Geth were originally created to serve as an automated manual labor force. Initially, their intelligence was as limited as any VI. Over time, we made small modifications to their programming to allow them to perform more varied and complex tasks, bringing them closer and closer to true AI status.
How come the Council didn't step in and stop you?
This wasn't true AI research. We may have been skirting the bounds of the law, but we never did anything that was actually illegal. The changes were so insignificant, so gradual, that we were able to control them. Or so we thought. But one thing we underestimated was the power of the neural network. A million Geth thinking simultaneously created an inherently unstable matrix.
So the Geth share brainpower?
Many of the Geth's logic systems were designed to work in concert with other nearby Geth. Basically, the more of them you have in the group, the smarter they are.
So there's some sort of group consciousness?
No, nothing like that. They cannot share sensory data or information. Their programming cannot handle that much simultaneous input. Each Geth maintains an individual awareness and identity. The neural network only operates on a process-based level. It's basically the synthetic equivalent of a subconscious. But when they're in close proximity, they can coordinate low-level functional processes, freeing up more capacity for original or independent thought.
That doesn't make any sense.
I'm probably oversimplifying. The Geth are incredibly advanced and complex creations. All you need to know is that they get smarter when they gather in large numbers. As we built more and more Geth, their effective intelligence became more sophisticated, more abstract. One day, a Geth began to ask its Quarian overseer questions about the nature of its existence. Am I alive? Why am I here? What is my purpose? As you can imagine, this caused a near panic among my people.
I don't see what's so bad about those questions.
The Geth were created to engage in mundane, repetitive, or dangerous manual labor. That's fine for machines, but it won't satisfy a sentient being for long. The Geth were showing signs of rudimentary self-awareness and independent thought. If the Geth were intelligent, then we were essentially using them as slaves. It was inevitable the newly sentient Geth would rebel against their situation. We knew they would rise up against us, so we acted first. A general order went out across all Quarian-controlled systems to permanently deactivate all Geth. The Geth responded to this order violently.
Hey, you can't blame them for fighting for their survival.
We had no other choice. The Geth were already on the verge of revolution. By acting quickly, we had a chance to end the war before it began. The hope was that most of the Geth would still be little more than machines, incapable of organized resistance. but they had progressed much further than anyone anticipated. The war was long and bloody. Millions upon millions of Quarians died at their hands. In the end, we were forced to flee our own homeworld. We feared the Geth would pursue us, but they never came beyond the Veil. Now we drift through space, exile searching for a way to reclaim what was once ours.
I want to know more about the pilgrimage.
When my people reach maturity, we leave our birth ships and seek acceptance with a new crew. It's necessary to maintain genetic diversity among the fleet. But no ship wants to accept someone who will be a burden on them. So, to prove our worth, we embark on a pilgrimage. We set out alone, leaving the flotilla and our families behind us. We only return once we have found something of value we can bring back to the fleet. This is presented as a gift to the captain of the respective ship we wish to join. If the gift is accepted, we are welcomed into the crew.
Can a captain choose to reject the gift?
That doesn't happen often. Most captains are eager to increase the size of their crew. It increases their own standing in our society. Even when a gift is not particularly valuable, the captain usually accepts it out of a sense of tradition. However, there is a stigma to presenting a substandard gift. It's not the best way to make a good impression on a new community. Most pilgrims don't return until they find something worthwhile.
I want to talk about something else.
Like what?
I should go.
See you later.
Alright, I always go to Veros first, pick up Liara, and then... No, wait, sorry. Yeah. No, hold on. Yeah, not Pharos. I go to find Liara first, then I go to Pharos, then I go to Noveria. The way that the lore builds for me is, yes, once I get Liara, then I have recruited everybody and we can begin conversations and character development. Mass Effect 3 has a lot more conversations and character development, but in this game, essentially... Other than with the mods that I have, so I'll be checking my terminal every time I come back in, but I won't be doing rounds of conversations until I have done major quests. So that means my next major round around the ship is going to be after Pharos, and then another one after Noveria, but not everybody's going to have new stuff to say. So it's pretty bare bones. For this game, we've probably completed about a third of the social commentary already. Each character that has their own quest, which is Rex, Tali, and Garrus. Liara, essentially, her main quest is Noveria. Rex has us go get an armor piece and tells us a story. Garrus has us confront Dr. Salion, Dr. Hart, and that's his story. And Tali is just going to be gathering information on the Geth to give to her for her pilgrimage. So these guys are all set for now. I've got a bunch of assignments. A lot of them are going to be gathered just through travel. So I'm going to start keeping track of where we explore. But the next step is going to go get Liara, then doing all the exploration that we can, and then going to Pharos, and then doing all the exploration that we can, and then going to Noveria, and just repeating that